I apologize. I hope you can hear me now. Okay, so we apologize for the technical glitch. So thank you. So good evening. Hello. Okay. So Pinutini, welcome to our online broadcast here from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. We go live every day in the evening hours, sharing our evening Buddha Puja, chanting and meditation with you. Especially during this time of difficulty, you can participate from home or wherever you are, engaging in religious worship, Buddha Puja every evening, listening to the chanting, Paritta Chanting every evening, and also meditating can really transform your time, your living, as well as your mindset during these lockdown restriction times. So when we share our Buddha Puja and when you participate from home, we collectively work not just on meritorious deeds, but also to share our chanting and to bless those that may have been affected by the pandemic. Excuse me. So when you participate with us, you can also share our YouTube link, lmmc.online, as well as our Facebook link to anyone who is ill. So when we chant, they also feel blessed, and also we can bear in our minds, wishing them speedy recovery, wishing that every treatment they take be successful, and may they enjoy good health and happiness. And today being Thursday, we are having our weekly meditation session, so you can join us as well and develop peace of mind and also develop mindfulness. So thank you for joining with us this evening. So today, the puja is sponsored by Mr. Lal and Mrs. Shiromala Karanahalage, and they would like to bless their eldest son, Osanda, who is celebrating his 18th birthday today. So many happy returns of the day from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center, as well as the online community. May you enjoy good health and happiness. May you be successful in your education, and may you have your high successful career as well as your future. May they be all bright, and may the paths ahead be free from troubles and barriers. So may you be successful in the years ahead of you. So we wish you a very happy birthday, and later on we are chanting you to bless you for your good health and happiness, as well as the family, Mr. Lal and Mrs. Shiromara Karanahalage, and their children Dulara and Daksha as well. May you all as a family be blessed with good health and happiness. May the blessings of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha be upon you for your well-being and also success and prosperity. So with such righteous intention, please join with me in worshipping the Buddha, and later on we're chanting the Paritta Suttas together. So thank you for joining with us today. Please say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa 3 times to observe 5 precepts. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Pānātipātā vīramani sikkhapaдаṃ samādhiyāmi. Adinādāna vīramani sikkhapaдаṃ samādhiyāmi. Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkhapaдаṃ samādhiyāmi. Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Surāmēraya majjapamā daṭṭhāna vīramani sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Tisaranena saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammaṃ sādhukaṃ surakkhitāṃ kattvā appamādena sampādetabbam. Okay, so let's worship the Buddha together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa. Itipiso bhagavā arahaṃ sammā sambuddho vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasārati sattā deva manussānaṃ buddho bhagavāti. Buddhaṃ jīvita pariyantaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Ye ca buddhā atītā ca ye ca buddhā anāgatā paccapannā ca ye buddhā ahaṃ vandāmi sabbadā. Nathi me saraṇaṃ aññaṃ buddho me saraṇaṃ varaṃ. Etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalaṃ. Uttamangena vandehaṃ pādapaṃ suvaruttamam. Buddheyo khalito doso buddho kamatu taṃ mama. සන්දිට්ඨිකෝ අකාලිකෝ ඒහිපස්සිකෝ ඕපනයිකෝ පච්චත්තං වේදිතබ්බෝ විඤ්ඤෝහිති ධම්මං ජීවිත පරියන්තං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි යේච ධම්මා අතීතාච යේච ධම්මා අනාගතා පච්චප්පන්නා චෛ ධම්මා අහං වන්දාමි සබ්බදා නත්ති මේ සරණං අඤ්ඤං ධම්මෝ මේ සරණං වරං ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු මේ ජය මංගලං උත්තමංගේන වන්දේහං ධම්මං ච ත්‍රිවිධං වරං ධම්මියෝ කලිතෝ දෝසෝ ධම්මෝ කමතු තං මමං සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ උජ්ජපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ ඥායපටිපන්නෝ භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුග්ගලා ඒස භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ දක්ඛිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක්ඛෙත්තං ලෝකස්සාති සංඝං ජීවිත පරියන්තං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි යේච සංඝා අතීතාච යේච සංඝා අනාගතා පච්චප්පන්නා ච යේ සංඝා අහං වන්දාමි සබ්බදා නත්ථි මේ සරණං අඤ්ඤං සංඝෝ මේ සරණං වරං ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු මේ ජය මංගලං උත්තමංගේන වන්දේහං සංඝං ච ත්‍රිවිධෝත්තමං සංඝේයෝ කලිතෝ දෝසෝ සංඝෝ කමතු තං මමං කනසාරප්පදිත්තේන දීපේන තමදංසිනා තිලෝක දීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං ගන්ධ සම්භාර යුත්තේන ධූපේනං සුගන්ධිනා පූජයේ පූජනීයන්තං පූජා භාජන මුත්තමං වන්න ගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සන්තතින් පූජයාමි මුනින්දස්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුහේ පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ච හෝතු මොක්ඛං උප්පහං මිලායාති යතායි ධම්මේ කායෝ තථා යාති විනාශ භාවං අදේවාසේතුනෝ භන්තේ පානීයං පරිකප්පිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය anukampang upadaye patigannātu uttame adhivasetu no bhante pesajjang parikappitam anukampang upadaye patigannātu uttame adhivasetu no bhante sabbang saddhāya pujitam anukampang upadaye patigannātu uttame vandāmi cetiyang sabbang sabbakāni supatittitam sāririka dhātu mahābodhiṃ buddha rūpaṃ sakalang sadā yassa mūle nisinno ve sambhāri vijayaṃ akā pato sabbanyataṃ sattā vande taṃ bodhipādapam ime ete mahabodhi lokanathena pujita aham pite namassami bodhiraja namattute kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katam acchayam kamami bhante puripanya tathāgata kāyena vācā cittena pamadena maya katam acchayam kamami dhamma sanditthika akalika kāyena vācā cittena pamadena maya katam acchayam kamami sangha supatipanna anuttara ettavata ca amhehi sambhatam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya ettavata ca amhehi sambhatam punya sampadam sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya ettavata ca amhehi sambhatam punya sampadam sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idam me ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo idam me ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo idam me ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo imina punya kammene mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya idam me punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. So if you have just joined us, we go live every day at 7 o'clock, sharing our Buddha Puja, chanting and meditation with you. So today the sponsors Mr. Lal and Mrs. Shiromala Karanahalalage would like to bless their eldest son Osanda, who is celebrating his 18th birthday. So they offered lunch or dawal dana to the vihara, and are also participating from home, wishing their son a very happy birthday. So we join you from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center and the online community, wishing Osanda a very happy birthday, many, many happy returns of the day. May all your righteous intentions be fulfilled. May you be very successful in your education. May you enjoy good health and happiness, and also having all the physical and mental strength, enlighten your future and be very successful in future. So with such righteous intention, we chant the sutras to bless you for your good health and happiness this evening. We also chant and bless the sponsors. May the sponsors and their loved ones be blessed with good health and happiness. May they enjoy good health and may stay safe, especially during this time of difficulty. And also you as an online community, may you all stay safe and be happy and also be protected and be blessed by the Buddha Dhamma Sangha during this time of difficulty. And as always, I request you, if you know or if anyone who your family or friends are affected by the COVID-19 or even any other illnesses, bear them in your thoughts when we recite the chanting, when you recite the sutras. May they be conducive for their well-being, for their speedy recovery, and for their successful treatments, and also enjoy good health thereafter. So we never forget our key workers. May all the key workers, including NHS staff, doctors and nurses, be blessed with good health and happiness. May they also develop courage and determination to continue the valuable services to the nation. So please join me in chanting the suttas today. We will be chanting Ahvana Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Jinapanjara and Jaya Paritta, especially to bless our birthday boy, Osanda, who is listening to us from home. Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammam Munirajasa Sunantu Saggamokkhadam Paritta Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Paritta Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Paritta Dhamma Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Ye santa santa citta tisarana sarana ettalokantareva Bhumma bhumma ca deva gunagana gahana vyavata sabbakalam Ete ayantu deva varakanakamaye mirurajeva santo 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 sahetum munivara vachanam sotumaggam samaggam Sambesu cakkavalesu yakha deva ca brahmuno Yang amhehi katang punyang sabba sampatti sadhakam Sambetang anumoditva samagga sasane rata Pamadarahita hontu arakhasu visesato Sasanassa calokassa buddhi bhavatu sabbada Sasanam picha lokancha devarakkantu sabbada Saddhiṃ hontu sukhi sabbe parivarehi attano Anigaha sumana hontu saha sabbe ñātibhi Rajato va chorato va manussato va amanussato va Aggito va udakato va pisacato va kahanukato va කණ්ඨකතෝ වා නක්ඛත්තතෝ වා ජනපද රෝගතෝ වා අසද්ධම්මතෝ වා අසන්දිට්ඨිතෝ වා අසප්පුරිසතෝ වා චණ්ඩ හත්ථි අස්ස මිග ගෝණ කුක්කුර අහි විච්චික මණි සප්පදීපි අච්චතරච්ච සූකර මහිස යක්ඛ රක්ඛසාදීහි නානා භයතෝ වා නානා රෝගතෝ වා නානා උපද්දවතෝ වා ආරක්ඛං ගන්නන්තු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානි වයන්තලික්ඛේ සබ්බේව භූතා සුමනා භවන්තු අතෝපි සක්කච්ච සුනන්තු භාසිතං තස්මාහි භූතානි සාමේත සබ්බේ මෙත්තං කරෝත මානුසියා පජාය දිවාචරත්තෝ ච හරන්ති ඒ බලින් තස්මාහි නේරක්ඛත අප්පමත්තා යං කිංචි විත්තං ඉදවා හුරං වා සග්ගේසු වායං රතනං පනීතං නනෝ සමං අත්ථිත තාගතේන ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු khayang viragang amatang panitang yadajjaga sakya muni samahito natena dhammena samatti kinchi idampi dhamme ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu yang buddha setta parivannai sucing samadhimanantarikanyamahu samadhinatena samona vijjati idampi dhamme ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu ye puggala attha satang pasatta chattari etani yugani honti te dakhineya sugatasya savaka ete sudinnani mahaphalani idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu ye suppayutta manasadalhena nikamino gotama sasanamhi te pattipatta amatang vigaiha laddha mudha nibbuting bunjamana idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu yathinda khilo pathaving sitosiya chatubbihi vatebhi asampekampiyo tathupamang sappurisang vadami yo varya saccani avecca passati idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu ye arya saccani vibhavayanti gambhira panyena sudesitani kincapi te honti busappamatta nate bhavan attamang adiyanti idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu sahavassa dassana sampadaya tayassu dhamma jahita bhavanti sakkaya ditthi vichikicchitanca silabbataං vāpi yadatti kinchi චතුහ පායේහි ච විප්පමුත්තෝ චචාබිඨානානි අභබ්බෝ කාතුං idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu kincapi sokammang karoti papakang kayena vaca udcetasava abhabbo sotasse paticchādāye abhabbata dittha padassa vutta idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu vanappa gumbe yatha pussitagge gimhāna māse pathamasmiñ gimhe tatupamang dhamma varang adesai nibbāna gāmiñ paramang hitāye idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu varo varanyo varado varaharo anuttaro dhamma varang adesai idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu khinam puranang navang natti sambhavang viratta citta ayatike bhavasmiñ te khīna bija avirulhiccanda nibbanti dhīrā yatāyaṃ padīpo idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu yāni dabhūtāni samāgatāni bummāni vāyāni veyantalikhe tathāgatang deva manussa pūjitang buddhaṃ namassāma suvatti hotu yāni dabhūtāni samāgatāni bummāni vāyāni veyantalikhe tathāgatang deva manussa pūjitang dhammaṃ namassāma suvatti hotu yāni dabhūtāni samāgatāni bummāni vāyāni veyantalikhe tathāgatang deva manussa pūjitang saṅghaṃ namassāma suvatti hotu etena sacca vajjena sabba dukkhaṃ vinassatu etena sacca vajjena sabba bhayo vinassatu etena sacca vajjena sabba rogo vinassatu jayāsana-gatā vīrā jetvā māraṃ savāhiniṃ catusacchā matara saṅyepi viṅsu narā sabhā tanhaṃ karādayo buddhā aṭṭhavī satinājakā sambhe patiṭṭhitā tvihaṃ mattake te munissarā sire patiṭṭhitā buddhā dhammo ca tavalochane saṅgho patiṭṭhito tvihaṃ ure sabba gunākaro hadaye anuruddho ca sāriputto ca dakkine kondañño piṭṭhi bhāgasmiñ moggallāno sivāmake dakkine savane tvihaṃ āhuṃ ānanda rāhulā kassappo ca mahānāmo ubhosuṃ vāmasotake kesante piṭṭhi bhāgasmiñ suriyo viyapabhaṅkaro nisinno siri sampanno sobhito munipungavo kumāra kassappo nāma mahesi citravādako sotvihaṃ vadane niccaṃ patiṭṭhāsi gunākaro punno angulimālo ca upāli nanda sīvalī tērā pañcaime jātā lalāte tilakā tava සේසාසීති මහාතේර විජිතාජින සාවකා ජලන්තා සීල තේජේන අංගමංගේසු සණ්ඨිතා රතනං පුරතෝ ආසී දක්ඛිනේ මෙත්ත සුත්තකං තජග්ගං පච්ඡතෝ ආසී වාමී අංගුලිමාලකං කන්දමෝර පරිත්තංච ආටානාටිය සුත්තකං ආකාසච්ඡදනං ආසි සේසාපාකාර සංඤිතා ජිනානා බල සංයුත්තේ ධම්මපාකාර ලංකතේ වසතෝ තේ චතුකිච්චේන සදා සම්බුද්ධ පංජරේ වාත පිත්තාදි සංජාතා බාහිරජ්ජත්තු පද්දවා අසේසා විලයං යන්තු අනන්ත ගුණ තේජසා ජින පංජර මජ්ජට්ඨං විහරන්තං මහීතලේ සදා පාලෙන්තු ත්වං සබ්බේ තේ මහා පුරිසාසභා ඉච්ඡේව මච්ඡන්තකතෝ සුරක්ඛෝ ජිනානුභාවේන ජිතූපපද්දවෝ බුද්ධානුභාවේන හතාරි සංඝෝ චරාහි සද්ධම්මනුභාව පාලිතෝ ඉච්ඡේව මච්ඡන්තකතෝ සුරක්ඛෝ ජිනානුභාවේන ජිතූපපද්දවෝ ධම්මානුභාවේන හතාරි සංඝෝ චරාහි සද්ධම්මනුභාව පාලිතෝ ඉච්ඡේව මච්ඡන්තකතෝ සුරක්ඛෝ ජිනානුභාවේන ජිතූපපද්දවෝ සංඝානුභාවේන හතාරි සංඝෝ චරාහි සද්ධම්මනුභාව පාලිතෝ සද්ධම්මපාකාර පරික්ඛිතෝසි අට්ඨාරියා අට්ඨ දිසාසු හන්ති එත්තන්තරේ අට්ඨනාථා භවಂತಿ උද්ධං විතානං වජිනාටිතාතේ බින්දන්තෝ මාරසේනං තව සිරසිඨිතෝ බෝධිමාරුය්‍ය සත්තා මොග්ගල්ලානෝ සිවාමි වසති භුජතටේ දක්ඛිනේ සාරිපුත්තෝ ධම්මෝ මජ්ජේ උරස්මින් විහෙරති භවතෝ මොක්ඛතෝ මෝර යෝනිං සම්පත්තෝ බෝධිසත්වෝ චරණ යුගගතෝ භානුලෝකේකනාථෝ සම්භාව මංගලමුපද්දව දුන්නිමිත්තං සබ්බීති රෝග ගාදෝසමසේස නින්දා සබ්බන්තරාය භය දුස්සුපිනං අකන්තං බුද්ධානුභාව පවරේන පයාතුනාසං සම්භාව මංගලමුපද්දව දුන්නිමිත්තං සබ්බීති රෝග ගාදෝසමසේස නින්දා සබ්බන්තරාය භය දුස්සුපිනං අකන්තං ධම්මානුභාව පවරේන පයාතුනාසං සම්භාව මංගලමුපද්දව දුන්නිමිත්තං සබ්බීති රෝග ගාදෝසමසේස නින්දා සබ්බන්තරාය භය දුස්සුපිනං අකන්තං සංඝානුභාව පවරේන පයාතුනාසං සිරිධිති මති තේජෝ ජය සිද්ධි මහිද්දි මහාගුණං අපරිමිත පුඤ්ඤාධිකාරස්ස සබ්බන්තරාය නිවාරණ සමත්තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස ද්වත්තිං සමහා පුරිස ලක්ඛනානුභාවේන අසිත්‍යනුව්‍යංජන ලක්ඛනානුභාවේන අට්ඨුත්තර සතමංගල ලක්ඛනානුභාවේන සබ්බන්නරං ස්යානුභාවේන කේතුමාලානුභාවේන දසපාරමිතානුභාවේන දස සීල සමාධි පඤ්ඤානුභාවේන බුද්ධානුභාවේන ධම්මානුභාවේන සංඝානුභාවේන තේජානුභාවේන ඉද්ධානුභාවේන බලානුභාවේන ඤෙය්‍ය ධම්මානුභාවේන චතුරාසීති සහස්ස ධම්මක්ඛන්ධානුභාවේන නවලෝකුත්තර ධම්මානුභාවේන අට්ඨංගික මග්ගානුභාවේන අට්ඨ සමාපත්ත්‍යානුභාවේන ඡලභිඤ්ඤානුභාවේන මෙත්තා කරුණා මුදිතා උපේක්ඛානුභාවේන සබ්බ පාරමිතානුභාවේන රතනත්තය සරණානුභාවේන ත්වේහං සබ්බ රෝග ශෝක උපද්දව දුක්ඛ දෝමනස්ස පායාසා විනස්සන්තු සබ්බ සංකප්පා ත්වේහං සමිජ්ජන්තු දීඝායුකෝ හෝතු සතවස්ස ජීවේන සමංගිකෝ හෝතු සබ්බදා ආකාශ පම්බත වන භූමි තටාක ගංගා මහා සමුද්ද ආරක්ඛක දේවතා සදා තුම්හෙ අනුරක්ඛන්තු සම්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන බුද්ධ රතනං ධම්ම රතනං සංඝ රතනං තින්නං රතනානං ආනුභාවේන චතුරාසීති සහස්ස ධම්මක්ඛන්ධානුභාවේන පිටකත්තයානුභාවේන ජින ශාවකානුභාවේන සම්බේතේ රෝගා සබ්බේතේ භය සම්බේතේ අන්තරායා සම්බේතේ උපද්දවා සබ්බේතේ දුන්නිමිත්තා සම්බේතේ අවමංගලා විනස්සන්තු ආයු වඩ්ඩකෝ ධන වඩ්ඩකෝ සිරි වඩ්ඩකෝ යස වඩ්ඩකෝ බල වඩ්ඩකෝ වන්න වඩ්ඩකෝ සුඛ වඩ්ඩකෝ හෝතු සබ්බදා දුක්ඛ රෝග භයා වේරා සෝකා සබ්බේ පද්දවා අනේකා අන්තරායාපි විනස්සන්තු ච තේජසා ජය සිද්ධි ධනං ලාභං සොත්ති භාග්‍යං සුඛං බලං සිරියායුච වන්නෝ ච භෝගං බුද්ධි ච යසවා සතවස්සාච ආයුච ජීව සිද්ධි භවන්තු තේ ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු ධම්ම දේශනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු මං පරන්ති සාදු සාදු සාදු. So we wish Osanda a very happy birthday. May you celebrate your 18th birthday with good health, happiness and success. May all your righteous aspirations be fulfilled. May you have a very bright future may your education be successful. May you have every happiness coming in your future. So with such righteous intention, your parents, Mr. Lal and Mrs. Shiromala Karanhalalage, have sponsored the puja today to bless you with good health and happiness. They are also blessing the loved ones with good health and happiness, and you as an online community, and their righteous aspiration is that you also stay good health and happiness, you stay blessed with good health. May the blessings of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha be upon you, and especially during this time of difficulty, may you stay safe and enjoy good health. So with such righteous intention, we chanted the suttas to bless you all. We apologize for the technical glitch at the start of the program. but we hope it has not put you off. We also, as mentioned earlier, dedicated the chanting to anyone who is ill. So may you all who are been affected by the pandemic or COVID-19, may you be blessed with good health, may you have a speedy recovery, and may you also enjoy good health throughout. So may all the treatments you take also be successful. If you want to share the chanting with those who may have been affected, please do share our YouTube link, lmmc.online, and then they can listen to the chanting later on as well. So thank you for joining with us so far. We bless you all with good health and happiness. So now we are going to conduct or hold our weekly meditation session. So please do stay if you are free. So every Thursday we share our reflection on mindfulness and practice we're together as an online community. So as you know, when we all, if you are not used to sitting down to meditate, as soon as you sit down, it can be a difficult task for us to focus and develop this concentration or perhaps mindfulness at your given focus of object. And in our case, we practice the breathing meditation. So we focus our mind, give the mind the job to be with the breath throughout. But as you know, it does not stay like that the way we would like to, unless you are determined to continue to meditate, to continue to focus your mind to the breathing. Because as soon as the mind is given that task of observing the breath, the mind or the habitual mind is always wanting to seek certain things that actually entertains it. And in the past few weeks we've been using the word called involving. And the mind always wishes something, so it has the tendency to wander. Now, this wandering is not necessarily physical, isn't it? So, even when you close your eyes, you might be away from your body because you'll be wandering. Your mind, which is non-physical, non-material, will keep on jumping or will keep on moving from object to object. And when it is moving, we really have to realize that it is moving, seeking something. It is looking for something. It is looking for something that will entertain. It is looking for something that suits the need. It will be looking for something to justify. And more or less, it will also be wandering because it will get dissatisfied having to or being needed to stay with the breath. And therefore, this nature of the mind is quite interesting to observe while we are being mindful. So the involvement or the wandering takes place in your thoughts sometimes. The involvement takes place while you're doing something. Your mind gets involved with the thoughts. Mind wanders looking for things. Now, at other times when we are not sitting down with your eyes closed, we physically get involved. Your mind leads you to what you want to get involved, what you are involving with. Your mind leads you to the fridge. Your mind leads you to the bathroom. Your mind leads you to your bedroom. Your mind will lead you to do something, to eat, to watch telly. So your mind is looking for something, and we habitually just follow sometimes without mindfulness. Imagine it was the other way around. Now, when we are looking for going to the fridge, bathroom, or telly, watching telly, or eating something, it's always actually trying to do something that you like. So you can see that deep inside there is this like or craving or desire that we follow. And when we follow those desires, for the things that you like, for the things that you like to continue, we will actually, without realizing, we will make a great effort to have a feeling to maintain that. So every moment is spent, perhaps sometimes, not mindfully, but actually with the planning in your head. I need to do this, I need to do this, rather than engaging with the food, rather than engaging with something that you're doing mindfully, rather than being with the moment, we're actually jumping forward, adding, either making stories or adding things to what you're doing. So sometimes when you don't like, for example, the taste of the food, then you are basically commenting on it. Rather than enjoying the food as it is, we are busy commenting on the food. We are writing a big article about it, or we are doing a big criticism about what and how, and we always do that. Now this is just for a simple act, daily act that we do, like eating. What about when you hear, when you listen to something, the media, the news, when you watch a movie, when you go to the bathroom? Are there things that you actually unknowingly do to meet your needs or desires? Or actually are there things that you do to also meet your dissatisfaction? So it's not just about pleasing your senses, but it's also pleasing or your mind, or wanting your mind to do certain things. So we call that in Pali, for those who are quite aware of the words, bhavatanha, vibhavatanha. So kamatanha, bhavatanha, vibhavatanha. This is always working inside you, always working. So last week I remember using 3 words which I said will refer to you: tanha, ditthi, mala. So desire, man would be conceit or measurements or comparisons that we make, and ditthi would be your fixed views. Now we'll discuss the latter 2 later on. Today we're discussing this tanha. So we are seeing that how everything is actually shadowed, or everything is, or the motivation for you to do certain things is based on that desire. Now, what about it when you talk to people, when you interact with people? So lots of things that you do, that you talk, that you say, is also motivated, or even most of your actions are sometimes rooted in your desires. Whatever you do is either something that you'd want in a self-centered way, in a selfish way. Even if you do something, you might want to act in a certain way because there is that desire, let me use the word, maybe proliferating or developing into some other forms of thoughts. Now it's quite obvious, and when it is desire, we will be doing lots of planning as much as when there is the opposite, the desire for the non-existence of it. So even when you talk to people, when you do certain actions, even when you make a move of your body, even if I twitch myself like this because I'm feeling uncomfortable with the way my body is, and those are things that happen unknowingly. But there are certain things that is driven and motivated or instigated or inspired even by those thoughts. Some people will do certain things only if it benefits them. Some people will, lots of the time we do or we act or we say or talk, perhaps always with that I or my concept inside which you don't want to feel tarnished, hurtful. And you always find ways to actually avoid that particular identity to be safe. So you start working things unnecessarily, whether that is also driven by fear, is quite something to think about. So let us look at the other way around. So when certain things are not meeting your desires, then there is this want, there is this urge to actually avoid those things, whether it is taste, whether it is something that you see, something that you hear. And we actually even talk and interact with people very differently. Now, whether these happen mindfully or consciously, or the way whether we are driven by those is quite different. So all of the time, most of the time, perhaps from the time you wake up to the time you sleep, even when you are asleep, we move unconsciously, but most of the time, from the time you wake up to your sleep, we're always into these action, thoughts, and even words, consciously, unconsciously. Now, we do know that they are sometimes unskillful. Unskillful means we are always nurturing those desires. So that's why Atapi Sampajano Satima Vinaya Loke Abhijado Manasa. There is this categorical perception that we develop, every moment is lived with that judgment. We always judge and put it into two compartmentalized mindsets, like, dislike, like, dissatisfaction. And this is not making us healthy or having a healthy mindset. It will really affect sometimes what we use nowadays called the mental health. Because we're always trying to feed this deeply rooted desire or craving, whether it is dissatisfaction and craving for the other, we start developing a different mindset. And we're always trying to pursue and trying to see and trying to change even the things that we can't change, because you have that passion for something. So when you talk to someone, when you talk with, when you do certain things, be mindful of what you are doing rather than actually adding stories or working on getting involved with it. So when we are in a sitting or in a meditation mode, or when we are sitting to meditate, our thoughts, although our eyes are closed, our mind is wide awake. It sees things, and as soon as it sees things, it will do the same thing. It will work on it. Unless you make great effort to retrieve back to the breathing point, our mind will always work on the thoughts that arises all the time. Again, with the same mode, if it is a good pleasant thing, or if it is a good memory, good thought, good idea, all the proliferation takes place, planning takes place. The stories, regrets, the emotions that comes, and we start rewriting, trying to change. Next time I'll do this. This is what I'm going to say next time if it happens like that. even fear starts to come in. If you are not mindful, then there is a level of anxiety developing slowly. And that anxiety can also develop into fear and worry. Whereas what you are doing now is meditating, simply sitting down and watching your breath. But the mind becomes unskillful at that time when you lose that mindfulness. Unskillfully dealing with those objects unnecessarily, mental objects. Whether it is now we don't see things, but there are plenty of videos in our mind, there are plenty of snapshots in our mind of any object that comes to your mind during the meditation session. We start getting involved with it. So in mindfulness meditation, we look at that shift that it takes from one object to another and being aware of it rather than getting involved with it. Being mindful of its presence rather than getting involved with it and making things or working on things differently. Because what you do, what you deal, or what you say, what you think, is your opinion, is your judgment. It's nothing I don't know, I can't see, we can't see other people's ideas. It's the opinion of yourself on that idea, on that object. And therefore we see that this application or this applying of your personal views to those thoughts, the judgment that the filtering process that has taken, the judgment that we apply, always makes things worse and different. So when we are just breathing in, and when our mind is just perhaps glued or perhaps focused on that breathing, on that one-pointed breathing, these unskillful things don't take place. We are being pleasant. Our mind is not wandering. Our mind is not active in a different way, unnecessarily. We are setting aside, discarding all the negative ways the mind can actually work. And that moment is pleasant, that is happy, that moment is a great experience, because there's nothing to get dissatisfied with. The breath, we don't plan our breathing, but we work on the way the breath takes place, we observe the way the breath is happening, taking place, and we stay with the journey of that breath and simply be with it. And that moment is still, we are not actually moving from one object to another, from one channel to another. And it is a pleasant moment. Sati, Viriya, Piti. So that moment, that moment of mindfulness is stillness, is pleasant, because there's nothing unskillful, there's nothing that actually makes you do certain things or say certain things, think certain things. Nothing takes place. It's complete happiness. And it's complete wisdom when we actually see it as it is. Lots of you may have heard the word ditte dittamattang, sute sutamattang, mute mutamattang. If you see an idea, if an idea comes to your head, a thought comes to your head, just as it is, this is worry, or this is painful thought, or this is anxious thought, this is fear thought. Don't get involved with it. Let it arise, let it be there if it is there. Don't try to throw it away, don't try to push it away. If anger comes in your mind, I would say it's a very good meditation object. You're lucky to have that idea coming to your heart. It's this important thought. If anger comes to your mind, know it as an angry mind. Don't say, oh, I'm meditating, I shouldn't be angry. If there is anger in your mind, observe as this is angry mind. If there is worrying mind, observe this is worrying mind. So don't let that desire, fear make you get involved with it unnecessarily. If this is an anxious mind, a painful mind, so don't go beyond. Don't start working, why am I angry? Why is this worrying? What is this happening to me? Don't start working on those. Just observe it as it is. So if it is a desire, passion, just observe as it is. So the thought as thought. Okay, so we don't actually push it away, but observe its presence. As much as when you have a physical pain, a bit of pain in your back, don't say, oh my back, and start twitching yourself, but observe and just observe how your mind has taken that painful moment. So you can make it Kayanupassana or Vedananupassana at that moment. Observe the body or observe the sensation. So what is your mind, how is your mind reacting to it? Then becomes Chittanupassana. Working on the way the mind reacts to that pain, to that sensation. You know, the urge that comes when you sometimes when you see some people might feel panic. Oh, I should be doing this now. So don't let panic come into you. Just observe that agitated mind if it is getting annoyed or frustrated with that pain. Observe that painful. Don't let your desires or dissatisfaction control you, but see it present. That is what being in the present moment means. Atitam nanaso chanti napajapanti nagami pachupanna nyapenti. Pachupanna means now, here, this moment. This moment, mind was getting agitated, so observe that. This moment, the mind was feeling happy, observe that. Pachupanna means right here, right now. Not even the next second. It hasn't come, we can't calculate things. What has gone has gone. So being mindful is being mindful at the moment what your mind was engaging with, but being aware of it as it is. Then you are powerful, you have power. Because mindfulness is that power, the choice. You have a choice whether to get involved with it or not. You are making that decision. So are you going to let the worry affect you? Are you going to let the anger affect you? If you get involved with it, then you have let it affect you. Are you going to let the passion or greed affect you? You have allowed it to take place. But if you just see it like in front of your plate, there's chocolate, but you're not engaging with it, means you're not wanting to eat it, nor wanting to throw the food that you don't like. So that there is that choice that you make. You have that choice to be happy or unhappy. If you let it affect you, you made that choice to let it affect you, so you end up being unhappy, dissatisfied. Dissatisfied in two ways: not getting the way you want it, and not being able to reject it. So pain and worries and anxiety are those type of things. It's a double impact there. Not getting what you want and you are worried more, and not being able to remove it because you got stuck with it. You got involved with it and you let it come into you. Your choice now has ended up in making you unhappy. So you can see how, if you're not mindful, all this deeply rooted desire starts coming, whether it is in the sensory as while you're widely awake, from your five senses to your mind sense, the sixth one, the thoughts arising, or whether it is your ideas about it. Once you get involved with it, you want it to last longer, or if you don't like it, then you want the other, or you want the opposite. And there is this desire working deeply inside yourself. And as I said earlier, consciously or unconsciously. So it really is that when you develop this mindfulness, whether it is while you are meditating or while your eyes are awake and you are doing a day-to-day activity, be mindful of how the mind might shift from one object to another, but don't let it impact upon you, because you have that choice. Once you get involved with it, once your mind gets the taste of that object or analyzes that object, there is that judgment made. That itself is an involvement. So as it is, yatha bhuta jnana dasana, be able to see things as it is. Don't let it affect you. And this is why mindfulness gives that power to someone who has developed it. So let's try to develop that mindfulness for the next few minutes. Let's try to develop that skill. Be skillful to bring or make your mind just focus on the breathing and make the mind watch the breath as it is happening. Remember the word as it is happening. So when you notice the breath, you notice the breathing taking place, and there is the inhale or there is the exhale moment. There is the starting of the inhale moment, and you notice the continuity and you notice the end of it. Similarly, when you exhale, there is a starting moment. Be mindful of that. Just stay with that breath throughout without getting distracted with other thoughts. Even if it happens, all you have to do is 3 things. Recognize what your mind got attracted to or distracted to. So if it was seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling, thinking, worrying, doesn't matter, whatever it is, just label it, recognize it. Okay, hearing. Not listening. Listening is a purposeful attention made. Hearing means you heard the sound, but you're not worried, you're not analyzing what that sound is. So hearing. Then don't stay with it, don't get involved. Let it go. Release. So recognize, release. Let it go. Don't get involved with it. Okay, recognizing, acknowledge that you went there, you were there, you were mindful at that moment. Release is that releasing, that let go or letting go skill. And then you return back to your breathing, whether it is your tummy or whether it is your nostrils or just the breath. Recognize it, release it, and return to your breathing. Okay, so don't forget to do that. Every time, even if it goes 1 million times in that couple of hours or a couple of minutes that you are meditating, just bring it back to your breathing. Stay with that breath. Just continue to stay with it. Because, as I said, don't let that deeply rooted likes and dislikes affect you. They are your opinion, they are your views, they are your experiences, they are your memories, nothing more. But the present moment, you are with the breath. Present moment is what you have to be. That stillness, that with the breath moment is the most important time that you can experience. Because if you get involved, as I said, you are allowing those memories, experiences, judgments, views, likes, dislikes, control you and taking away that happiness from you. Okay, so let us meditate for a few minutes. So adjust yourself a little bit so that you are quite comfortable for the next few minutes. So if you're sitting on a chair or sofa, make sure your feet are firm on the floor. So back straight, right hand on your left palm, and eyes gently closed. So to support, we'll do a quick observation of the way your body is posed, the structure, the posture. So upright body, and notice that it's there as it is. Arms hanging, your right hand on your left palm. Just be aware of the touch. And be aware that it is placed in your lap. And being mindful of the way you are sitting, so bent at your hips because you're sitting, you might notice the pressure. Just be aware of the presence of those things. Don't analyze, be aware of it. Your legs bent at the knees and feet firm on the floor. Or if you're sitting cross-legged, side of your ankles or legs touching the floor. So now you can see there's this body, you, sitting peacefully, quietly, and you've seen the structure. Now, obviously that structure is testimony of your commitment, your dedication, and if you haven't been moving, then it is also a reflection of your mind which is not restless. If you were restless, you would be fidgeting a lot. So be mindful of that still moment. Your body is very still. Okay, so be mindful of yourself, the location, wherever you are at home. And be mindful of the online community, meditating as Kalyan Mitras with you. And you share that energy and dedication. Now gradually bring your attention to your breathing. Remember, it's the breathing. There's nothing to like, there's nothing to dislike, but just engaging or giving your mind the job to watch the breath that enters your nose and comes out. Breathing in, so watch that breath go in as you notice it's going in. And breathing out. So first of all, you might just notice the breath changing because you're just settling into it. So be mindful of the way the breath may change, if it is short or if it is long. Be mindful of that in-breath as short in-breath, long in-breath, short out-breath, short, long in-breath, long out-breath. So as you observe that breathing, breathing in, breathing out, your body also reacts to it differently. When you breathe in, you might feel refreshed. When you breathe out, you might feel relaxed. breathing in, breathing out. So if you see the breath has two units or two actions, you can see the beginning, when in the moment that you started to breathe in. If counting helps you, note that as one. And as you continue to breathe in, it's a long journey, so that becomes two, continuity. Be mindful of the moment you finish as well. So you are seeing it as a whole breath. So, although you are seeing it as one in breath, now you see it in three different ways, moments, or the duration. Similarly, breathing out, continue to breathe out, and finish breathing out. So the next few minutes, just observe the breath as it happens, breathing in, breathing out. Remember the 3 R's: recognize, release, return. to return, not getting involved with your thoughts. Make sure you come back to your breathing point and continue to develop that concentration skills, focusing on the breath using techniques such as counting 1, 2, 3, or just observing the whole breath as a unit. us this evening. Once again, we apologize for the technical glitch at the start of the program broadcast. We go live every day at 7 o'clock, so please do join us tomorrow as well. So have a very good evening, stay safe, take care, and good night. See you tomorrow at 7.